Do it do.
That's still a glare. Okay. Where is the light coming from? There we go.
All right, man. We up in this joint by the devil doing his work, trying to shut everything down before the even good stuff gets started.
He can't win though.
Not at all. We up in this joint, man. Y'all know what it is. Another episode of Inside AXS. I'm your boy Jay, and I'm here with the beautiful Vernica.
Yeah.
PantherInkGraphx Inc. Y'all. We finna get
What's
into
going
it,
on?
man. We finna talk about this branding today. How big is branding in your business?
Branding is everything. It's everything. Let me know when you're ready to get into it, because it's everything.
Everything. So before we get into it, though, I like starting the stories from the beginning. So let's introduce the people to who PantherInkGraphx is and where she started from.
Well, okay. Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Vernica, better known as V with PantherInkGraphx. I am the owner and operator of PantherInkGraphx, where we create brand development for entrepreneurs. I like to focus on overwhelmed underdogs. Okay. The reason I love the overwhelmed underdog is because that is me. All right. And once we get into unraveling what branding really is, when it comes to the overwhelmed underdog, you have a story to tell, and brand messaging should reveal that. So what I do at PantherInkGraphx is create new lanes through brand strategy, so you never have to compete in any. All right. I make unique results pulling from the underdog story and connecting it to the brand's message. So that's what I do.
Y'all heard her. Y'all make sure y'all tap in too. So let's get into it now. Technology, AI, everything has been like in a, just so you know too, I've been a graphic designer and web developer since I was a kid.
Awesome.
So we got a lot in common.
Yes.
Right. And in the last, I say 5-10 years, the scope of designing media and everything is just making this like fast, rapid change. And one of the things, also as a consultant, being that's my first love, consulting is a second. I see a lot of people that start business in the marketplace but have no brand identity, right? And but when you look at the big boys, the corporate America, and all of them, their whole thing is their identity. Regardless of where you go, when you see that logo or you see that sign, you know who it belongs to and you know what it represents. But a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we don't take that approach. Why you think that is?
I feel like, especially with our Black and brown community, we weren't handed business etiquette. We weren't taught those tips and tools when we first got in this thing. Usually entrepreneurs, especially what they call small business or entry level entrepreneurs, they just don't know. They don't even know what really brand identity or brand development is. A lot of people don't understand. They say, I have a business. And I say it all the time, and I saw on one of your pieces of content, anybody can go get an LLC.
Right.
Okay.
Indeed.
But when it comes to an actual brand, what's the mission? What's the end goal? What's the legacy? What's the story? People miss the messaging in branding. They just think I have a business. Okay. They think branding, the extent of that is having a logo. And it's so much more than that. They don't understand principles and elements of design. They don't understand brand messaging. No one taught them. So therefore, and then a lot don't dig deep enough to seek to understand that. Me as a brand developer, if I'm saying I'm going to master my craft, that takes research and development. So just for any other business owner, you need to get into research and development, because you hit a strong point on artificial intelligence. I teach Brand Builders Academy about that. That's why collaborations and network is so important. You are only as strong as your network. And if you are the smartest one in the network, you need to run like hell and go find somebody else. Okay. That's not a compliment to be the strongest one in the group. And then you wonder why you're always tired getting pulled on. Man. So to answer your question, I feel like it's just the lack of knowledge, the lack of information, and the lack of really understanding what branding is. People that have been taught business they've opened a book or two to find that out. So we need to start seeking out what's full on through how do I represent myself and how do I stay consistent with the messaging, you
Indeed.
know?
And I'm gonna give you an example because this is subtle, right? And it was done on purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that even the people that's watching this and not watch it later, and even those that's gonna watch it later, didn't even pay attention to this subtle thing, but it's gonna hit home for you. Watch. And that subtle thing is in my background, I have your color highlighted on my wall.
Ah, yes,
So
yes.
when we talk about branding and
Right,
we talk about the impact that it has when people are paying attention to what you do, how you do it, and seeing you on a consistent basis, it becomes a part of them.
exactly.
So even that thing, that subtle thing of that loud green in your graphics, in your artwork, in your social media, and everything else is a signature of your brand. So
Right.
when you interact with other people, they adopt that as a, it's almost like a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
like that, people don't even pay attention to. It be those subtle things that you don't even realize that you adopt.
exactly.
And people do it all the time in they wardrobe. Your designer, you feel like you better than this because of right, exactly. In your wardrobe, what you wear, all of that. And most people wear more other people's branding and logos than they do their own.
Facts.
And to
Facts.
me, I never really understood that element of it until later. Like you go around all the time praising somebody else's value, but you never create your own. And you never give your own brand a name or an existence or anything. It's just something that just you know, eh.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just eh. I
You
mean,
making
down from the
somebody else's
color,
last name rich.
yeah,
Yes.
down from the color, everything. What I mean? Like it has to be sentimental to you. It's almost like a family monogram or a family crest or whatever the case may be. Right now, if you're just doing business as a little side thing, I can see you not paying attention to it. But I even think that that's a bad thing when you start in business. Like for instance, I always talk about how people start in business now in trends. Right? You start in business in a trend. You should never start a business in a trend.
Never.
that's
Never.
not a that's not a business because trends end.
Say
So when the trend
yes.
ends, so does your business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start trends with a purpose, that purpose is infinite
Yeah.
because the purpose never stops. Your purpose, whatever your purpose, it never ends. You're gonna always have a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Pat, when you started PantherInkGraphx, what made you go down that path?
Oh, that's a good question. So I'm gonna take you back, coming fresh out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Shout out to Louisiana. That's my original city and state. I moved to Houston, Texas when I was 18. I used to be the girl that could sketch, and I would sketch for lunch money and sketch
Mhm.
to keep my beeper bill paid back when
Yep.
we had the $8 beeper bill. So I was the fine arts person. I would be the one doing surrealism and acrylic paints and staying in the art room. But then when you get to college and they're telling you, you're going to end up picking out paint swatches at Lowe's or Home Depot as a fine artist, or fine
Ooh.
artists don't usually thrive until they're dead. When you think of Van Gogh, when you think of Michelangelo, when you think of all of them, the greats, they didn't
Hmm.
really become famous until afterlife.
Right.
So once I came to that awareness, I was like, oh no, I got to figure out. And this is when the phase of computers were taking over. This is when IBM, this is when Macintosh had the big back
Oh yeah.
computers.
Oh
This
yeah.
is when I got into Adobe before they had a cloud. Okay.
No,
A lot
that
of
hey
y'all just getting into
that
it when they got the cloud. Okay.
hey, look,
I've been rocking
sidebar.
with it since
Look,
it was
it's a
on a
quick
floppy disk. You heard me?
right, quick sidebar. That's funny because I
Right.
started off on a Commodore 64. So
Okay.
that's
Talk
funny. That's
about it,
sidebar.
Jay.
I,
So
I was bootlegging Adobe at college campuses
talk about
because
it, Jay. I
'cause
was bootlegging it too. Black market Adobe trying to get through
absolutely because
school,
it was
man.
back then it was like 3,000-4,000 to get Adobe.
Yes.
Man, look, y'all can get this for the hot 300. Y'all can get this for the
Yes.
hot 300.
Period.
Period. Straight up.
Listen, you used to get that little crack code, the little key
All
code to
time.
print it.
Yep.
Listen, if you
Yep.
know, you know. Okay. So that's when I started. I am raw, fine art into graphic design because I felt like at that turn of events when computers were taking over, I knew I was an artist. So I married the two. I was like, how can I avoid a computer taking my job?
Yeah,
So graphic design made sense. So I went to
indeed.
college and got my AS, the Applied Science degree for digital communications. That included marketable skills awards in graphic design and multimedia. When I took that, because I'm used to like hustle, I wanted fast. I didn't go to
Hmm.
4 year. I did 2 year, got the foundation of it, understood my elements and principles, got me a business card at Kinko's, and I started going to Starbucks with my little laptop sitting up distributed because Starbucks, they nosy. When they see you with a laptop, they want to know like what's going on, what's going on. But
Hmm.
I always was on a mission because I knew Panther Ink was my bread and butter. I knew graphic design. That was the skill set God gave me. So that goes into brand development. How do you leverage what you can do in your sleep? And
That
I
is
knew that fine arts was my talent. So I said, let's go with it full throttle. So now it's 20 years later, and I've been able to build a brand, build a business. Word of mouth gave me the longevity because of my customer care and my high energy, hence the lime green. It
hmm
represents the tone, the energy that you're going to get over here. I could do it for you or I could do it with you. There are packages, there's products and services that handle all of that. But that took me being disciplined and consistent with knowing to focus on my one thing. And that was my skill set. My raw talent was art. So I said, let's get that art to the computer and make it happen. And now we have PantherInkGraphx.
that's what's up. That is hilarious. We got that in common because what's even more funny, you said you gave him the 2 years. I didn't give him 6 months. I went in there in 6 months, and I'm like, I already know all this. I'm wasting my money up in here. I already know all
Right,
this.
get out. Get in and
Yeah,
get out.
right. I done self-taught all this. Y'all in here with this slow pace stuff, man. I'm out of here. I
Yes.
done done this already. That
Yes.
is hilarious, though. So look,
Yeah.
now, so you gonna this is a good one because how far you came back, and I can relate to that, right? So
Mhm.
at that time when you thought computers was gonna take your job, how you feel now with what AI is doing?
Oh man, this is what I do. I've learned in business if it's something that's why your network is so important. You
Hmm.
got to make sure you're getting in the room. One thing about V, I'm always a forward thinker and I'm always going to tap in with people that are forward thinkers. So when I'm paying attention, I don't scroll Instagram to play. I scroll with intention. So when
Hmm.
I'm scrolling, I'm looking for what's the waves. If I'm on Twitter, if I don't even deal with TikTok, but if I was over there, I know what I'm looking for. Like you said,
Hmm.
with trends, I always teach in BBA, don't follow a trend, be the trend.
Yep.
So in order to do that, you got to know what's going on. And I know even though it is overwhelming, it's a new thing. Web3 is overwhelming. But when Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, all the fintech, when that talk started hitting the waves, these ears started going up like, wait a minute. Because listen,
Indeed.
I'm always tapped in. I see
Yep.
how government moving. I'm seeing how everything's moving. So you
Absolutely.
put two and two together to make four. And when you're seeing, and I use AI, I use Jasper, I use Copy, I use all of these different things in my business for my team to assist me as well. So when
Hmm.
you see an app development, me as a person that teaches brand development, we got to make it make sense. Common sense is saying these are things you either got to learn and get with it. And I'm good with shaking, molding, flipping, and developing. You got to be a chameleon to be able to survive. So if I know I can't do it and it's over my head, I'm going to make sure I have it in my network. So with that
Indeed.
being said, one of my mentees, she develops for IMVU and Meta, and she's already in that space. So I always reach out to her to reference to see how are we moving in this area and what do I need to do to get prepared. So
Facts.
I think, yeah, I'm gonna end up transferring my services into that space sooner than later. But yeah,
Yeah,
I said if
absolutely.
you
But
can't
see, I
get to
always
it,
looked at it. See, this is how I look at it. Like I'm never intimidated by technology, right? Because I'm a
right?
tech. So when it came out, I was 10 toes in
Yeah,
because it's a tool. At the end of the day,
yeah,
it's a tool.
it
Most
is.
people get mad at it because they feel like it's gonna take their job or whatever the case may be. So you fighting against something that's a fight that you're not gonna win.
No,
You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say, you can scream to the top of the mountain, but technology is gonna always advance, and if history has proven that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And if it hadn't advanced, most of you wouldn't even be doing what you're doing now, as far as being
Period.
on the internet, connected, network. All that's technology. When it first came out, your mama then was probably like, "Get off of that thing. That thing ain't gonna do nothing for you."
Yep.
It's the same.
Yep.
So we at that next I think we at that next evolution of what design and not just design and branding, but just in general. Because when we talk about like artificial, the things that they have out now, like literally, I was just playing with this new AI software that just came out to where you can create your highlights and put it in the software, and it creates the whole PowerPoint presentation for you, including graphics that relate to what you're talking about and everything.
Nice.
So you imagine even in your workspace or even in your business, depending on what you're doing. So both that we've been in a branding, I'm gonna use this as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You get a client that need a PowerPoint presentation done,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go into Jasper and have Jasper create you an outline of that topic. Take that outline, put it into the other one, and it create the whole PowerPoint presentation to you within 10 minutes.
Right.
To me, that's a win all day.
Oh, it's a win-win. It's a win-win, especially when you don't have to reveal your background process, so you can book 18 clients and
Right.
have that turned around. And they like, that's another thing that leverages you,
Indeed, all
the
day.
turnaround.
You be like, damn, you did that fast.
Exactly.
Even if you didn't
Exactly.
look, but even if you didn't flex, right? Let's
Yeah,
just
even
say,
if you didn't give
yeah,
it
let's just
3 days.
say, yeah, right. Just say you just, you got the money. I'll have this back to you, 2 weeks.
Yep.
Well, I done
Yep.
already banked it. I got it off my calendar to put it on the schedule to email to you in 2 weeks to show you.
Done.
No, email it to you in 7 days for you to proof it.
It's done. We in
It's
a room
done.
somewhere chilling. I'm just
Right.
waiting
It's
on the
done.
auto, waiting on my calendar to remind me to send it to
Right.
you 2 weeks ago.
You know what I'm saying? Like the power, and I'm one of them ones. Like when I get off into something, man, like I don't even sleep. I be up at night, just like
Yeah.
all the way. I gotta master whatever that is. I decide I want to chew on, and that's
Right.
one of those things that I'm on right now is that AI. Because
Yeah.
this week, because I know at some point, probably by the end of this year, maybe next year at the most, it's gonna be more AI come out, but the top dogs of the AI like software and tech, it's gonna be untouchable for most to even use.
Yes. Yes. And that's true, Jay. That's so true. And then I listen to what Wall Street Trapper talks about of how it's affecting stocks too, how these mergings are happening with, again, fintech partnering with the banks. So now we converting currency into digital. Like everything is about to be a different space. I saw a forum about the grocery stores where now you're going to start entering at the gate, scanning your personal code that connects
Yeah,
to that grocery store, and that grocery store has connection to your bank account. Ain't no more stealing groceries.
not at all.
They're deducting. They're deducting. And I don't know how they're going to calculate it yet, but there are already grocery stores putting this into place. It's taking over.
Yeah,
And you can't beat it, join it.
I went to Italy in October, and I was at the airport, and I was on a layover,
Mhm.
and I walked past this kiosk that it was an artificial robot in there making the lattes and the coffees.
Mm, mm, mm. They
I
think
mean,
they think COVID got rid of jobs.
look here. I mean, that thing was in there. I mean, and it was entertaining at that. So it was like in there making the coffee, waving at, fake waving the robot arm, fake waving,
My goodness.
dancing a little bit while the cream was being poured. The robot
My
dancing a little
goodness.
bit. The the whole thing. Then made it, turn around, put the foam on top, put it back, stuck it in the slot, handed it to the people. Little thank you thing come up on the screen and all of that.
Listen, Jay, listen, this is what's really going to blow the people's minds. There are documentaries in other countries, like you said, Italy. There are documentaries that are in Asia and different things where they are taking your identity. Because we all have avatars, by the way. Everybody's
Yep.
giving up enough of their personal information. And one thing we're not understanding is the most valuable thing in this world is data.
Yeah.
And we are so easy to give over name, phone number, address, what we like, what we dislike when we on these dating sites, who we are, long walks on the beach, I'm an Aquarius, all that good stuff. So
Everything.
now it's going to get to a point where this artificial intelligence, you're going to see ads when you're walking down the hallways and in the subway stations that's talking directly to you. They're going to call your name. Next is
Mm-hmm.
going to be that robot guessing what kind of latte you like.
Yeah.
Okay. They're gonna
Yep.
be like, hey Jay, come on over. We know you like that cold brew with that skim milk. You're gonna be like, how does robot know me? But
Yep. He's gonna be
they're
telling you
already
what
using
you
the
should and
data.
shouldn't eat. You shouldn't eat that. Your blood pressure is gonna go up.
Right. You'll be like, did you talk to my mama?
Your glucose
That's
level
what's
is a little
coming. It's
high. I
here.
would not recommend you buying that Snicker.
Right. And it's here. It's here. I'm glad you're covering this because we gotta wake up. It's here. It's not like get ready in the next 5. It's here. What are you gonna do about it?
Yep. You have to put your 10 toes in the sand now. Because if you don't, it's one of the things like if you don't take it serious, you you're gonna really feel it later on. You're gonna be really
Ooh.
left behind.
And I mean feel it.
Yep. And I gave you prime example. If you can just go back and talk, if your any of y'all grandparents are still alive, and you go talk to your grandparents now, and you trying to tell them how to go get the money out the ATM machine or how to
Yep.
check out at self checkout at the grocery store and
Yep.
all these different things where they were used to doing certain things a certain way and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't stay up to date on how to do things and now they are older now and they lost. That's what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be at a younger age though.
Yes.
It's not gonna be when you 60, 70 years old. It's gonna be when you in your 40s and 50s
That's right.
where it matters at. You're gonna be just like lost.
Yep. That's so true. So
Yeah,
true.
it's deep. So I know you have different programs for different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to give advice, to the listeners and the watchers about branding their entities or branding their clothing brand or anything in that nature, like what's an approach that you would tell them at the beginning when they go into design or come up with a concept of a formula that they could do?
Okay, so first it would probably start with understanding what is branding. Branding is the vehicle. I always call it the vehicle. It's the vehicle that connects the customer with the company. Okay. So when we talk about that, if it's the vehicle, think of like a Lyft car or an Uber car. What makes that driver's experience memorable to you when it's getting you from point A to point B? Did they have an air freshener in there? Were you able to play? I've been in Lyft cars when I'm traveling, speaking places and stuff, and they have it where you can have a little tablet on the back of the seat where you can play games on it. They're playing your favorite music. They've got
Mm-hmm.
mints, they've got water bottles in there, they're holding conversation versus the vehicle that doesn't talk to you. It's got a stale smell in it. Which one is more memorable? Which experience while you're in that ride is taking you somewhere where you will want to go again? So you want to think about that when it comes to your brand. So I always ask people, first start with understanding what is your why. Why are you doing what you do? When I'm on a clarity call with new clients and they're like, I think I want a business. Okay, well, first, what's the concept? What problem do you solve? Okay, what can you do easy that is hard for other people? That's what you really need to know. Is it a need? Have you confirmed that it's a need? Or is it a passion project? You got to really be clear on that. Because when you get into this, a lot of people they're falling for these smoke and mirrors on social media, thinking that this is just a hype and it's something that's cute and it's bells and whistles and it's not hard work. Your why has to mean enough to you to put in the work. So when it
Man.
comes to your brand, first know what problem you solve. What can you do easy that comes hard to others? Something second nature to you that you can leverage that's been proven to be a need. And then you come up with the easy to understand, memorable concept for your company's name. I'm PantherInkGraphx because I leave stains on brands. I leave a stain on your brain. I'm an everlasting impression. I'm bold. I'm mystical. These are the things that represent my brand. So all the concepts are based around that. When I say I like to serve the underdog, I relate that to the jungle. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Panther. When it comes to the energy and you think about a panther crawling and pouncing, that's nothing you want to play with. So when it comes
Facts.
to branding, I stand in my own lane. A panther is a very unique animal. Okay, it's a leopard undercover. Really, people don't know
Mm-hmm.
panthers are leopards with black coats. So when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to all of these different elements, You want to think about what you represent and then tie that into the icon. And you also need to understand the concepts of color theory. Color is very important when it comes to your branding. If you are not
Facts.
running a cartoon shop or a kid's store, we don't want to see curly, bubbly font. If you run a fitness center, we don't want to see serif font. That's old school. That's for a book writer or an author. If you are running something like a spa, you wouldn't want to use my lime green. You would want to go with a subtle blue. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the things that you really have to understand. That's why you want to hang with people like OGs like me and Jay that understand these concepts, because these are
Yep.
things that really make or break a brand. And last but not least, make sure your mission is clear. Your story is everything. I always teach in brand builders that the big brands, they didn't just sell because they were the best cook or the best tennis shoe. Jordan didn't sell, and he's not a household name and a legacy just because he had the cutest or the dopest looking shoe. It's because he had the dopest story at the time of his rise. People buy the story and people buy the transparency behind the brand. It has nothing to do with your product or service. It's the story behind your product or service that's going to set you apart. So those are the concepts that you really have to understand when you're first starting out. Be clear on who you are and what you represent, and then understand the elements that make an everlasting design.
Man, now you said something in there that was a gem, and I know it went over most people's heads, so I'm gonna reiterate it because I know for a fact if nobody in here hasn't interacted with you, they have no clue what you're talking about, and that was color theory, right?
Yes.
And all big companies use color theory
Mm-hmm.
in their branding department and their marketing department. They have meetings
Yes.
surrounding color theory when they
Yes.
putting out an advertisement, when they putting something on TV in a commercial, in an ad on social media, because you as a human being, we are we are visual people first,
That's right.
and your visual touches your emotions,
That's
and
it.
they have a whole theory wheel. Y'all can go look this up. Y'all can Google it.
Google color theory.
Yep,
Color
you can
wheel.
Google color theory, and it's a psychological, scientific fact of what colors bring out in you emotionally. So
That's
when
right.
when you walk into and they're doing it to you all the time, you just don't even realize it.
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
that's the cold part, right? Like like
Yes.
I was on I had this contract with Sony years ago. And in there, one of the head dudes that had been in, one of them old white old 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 white dudes that been marketing way back when they was doing it in newspapers and stuff in there.
Right.
And he was also he was on the contract too. And what he did at that time was he staged the department stores for like Nordstrom's, Macy's, and places
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my mind was blown because I didn't know that it was an actual thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So just to break it down and keep it simple and quick, when you walk into a department store, they track you as a human being. Like you might see the cameras, and you might think those cameras is for just for security, but they're not. They're tracking metrics to see when you walk into the store what attracts your vision and your body language and your attention when you walk into a department store. So when you
Mm-hmm.
walk into a store, the way they have it staged and the way they have the lighting set is to draw your attention to that sale item or this new thing or whatever, and to pull you towards that way. And they actually track these metrics over how many people come through in a quarter, and they do about a quarter. So in the
Yes.
first quarter, how many people come through? During the holidays, how many people come through? And
Yes.
that's how they stage their department stores.
That's right. That's
And,
right.
and it's the same in the grocery stores
Yep.
and everywhere else.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Everywhere.
science to it.
Let's take it even deeper. Me coming from Louisiana, we're big on casinos, right?
Yep.
And you wonder why they have put the bells when the bells sound off, and they have
Uh-huh.
all the lights, the flashing lights.
Mm-hmm.
That is to create energy to get you to move. They don't want you sitting at a slot for too long. It's to create movement. People don't understand the power in color. Just like fast food places, when you walk into Taco Bell, McDonald's, all of them are using associated colors, the power colors. You're going to see a lot of red and yellow. If you do see a green or a purple, it's a strong shade of it because they don't want you there long. You're not going to find dim lighting like in a restaurant or a 4-star hotel spa or something like that where the lights are low. They want you to stay a while and relax.
Yeah.
So all of these concepts play a part. And like you said, it's playing on us every day. You wasn't even thinking about Chick-fil-A now, but Taco Bell and KFC, and you driving down the street and all of a sudden it's like, I'm hungry because a color combination will make you hungry. It's all psychology. So I'm so glad you spoke on that because it's important for a brand, even when it comes to for my people with products or e-commerce, because we talked about clothing earlier. When it comes to the different seasons, pay attention to the seasons and the holidays, and you want to play off of that. So when you're coming to planning out maybe your mock-ups for the quarter to come, and maybe that quarter falls in fall, even though my brand colors may be green, black, and white, I may want to put it on a cocoa brown warm-up though for that season, or something that reminds you of fall. Or like for instance, when the holidays, Valentine's Day come, you wouldn't want to use Halloween colors on Valentine. That's gonna miss the audience. We're not doing orange. We're going to do red. So it's really important to understand that or work with someone that does.
Now in branding, right? We was talking about logos and everything else, and people always, I believe people think that branding is just limited to just a few items, right? But branding is beyond that. So I feel like if you in business, your branding should be across everything that you touch, from pens you give out to your business cards, even now in digital. Like there's companies out here where you got the tap button on the bottom, your phone and stuff for your information and stuff like that, goes to your website, all that type of stuff like that. Your keys, that like everything that you own that got somebody else's brand on it that you use should have your brand on it.
That's right.
And it's called promotional products.
Yes.
So everything that you, from a champagne cork puller to the tab on your key ring,
that's
to
right,
your apparel, your shirts, like all of these things could be branded with your brand on it. And you'll be surprised that a lot of the designer clothing that you buy, that you spend $100 on, $200 on, those things all get made by the same company. That same item may cost you $5-10.
Yes.
The same shirt.
Same
the only difference, you pay you pay $5 for the shirt and you pay $450 for the name on the front of it.
Period. Period. Margins is this big. Period.
Right. Margins is that big. The shirt costs $5. When I put my name on the front, it went to $500.
That's it.
Yep. So when you buy, Balenciaga and all that, them shirts is not getting made in some special factory.
It sure isn't.
That
coming from the same warehouse of
special sheep, by some special sheep wool, by some rare silkworm that they done raised and they not doing that.
They're not doing that.
They are not doing that. Just so you guys know. Right. So y'all getting work, to be honest with you.
That's it.
You can have your own thing on.
That's it. That's it. I wear my brand all the time. Faith Over Fear is mine. Panther is mine. The wristband that I wear, this is my business card.
Yep. But look, it's funny too, because I just ordered some of them.
Yeah, these are so dope. I was in Atlanta last week for a mastermind with Trevor, Neo DeViso, and David Shands. David Shands is my coach. Shout out to David. But we did a mastermind, and it was a small group. And you wouldn't be surprised. But going back to the point you're making, just me doing business with this wristband, people felt like I was an expert. So many people, because they saw me scanning this on their phone. And the beauty about this pop-up wristband is not just giving you my business card. You have to give me your information too.
Yeah.
So what does this become? It's a walking prospect builder. This is a list builder on my wrist. What about the times when you run out of cards? And for women, we like to switch our purses to match our outfits and stuff. You might have forgot your cards in the other purse when you were rushing out that day, but your wristband should sit with your jewelry. Okay.
And not only that though, if you got it connected with your workflow, from when they put the information in goes into a CRM. Now you got their information. And
That's it.
if you gave them a business card, 9 times out of 10, most people lose that business card within 4 days anyway.
Yep. Yep.
But when they touch that phone on that band,
Yep.
that contact information is in that phone. That people take that phone with them everywhere they go. They ain't leaving that
That's
phone
right.
nowhere.
That's right. That's right. It really set me apart. Everybody asked, and then taking it one more step further, Jay, a lot of people that are starting in business and existing businesses, think about your affiliate opportunities. If you had an affiliate link to Popple, so when people are scanning this and they're like, man, what is that company? Every phone I scanned asked me, where did I get this from? So the affiliate link, I can say, hey, use this link. Go ahead. So now there's money in my pocket out the gate.
Right.
Okay.
Even if you don't call me back, I just made me leave $10.
I just made me $10.
At least made me $10 real quick.
Listen, you just bought my dinner for the night. I could have got this with 10 people, $100 in my pocket, whether we do business or not.
Man,
you
sleeping.
Gotta think that thing through.
So, I like giving out jewels too. So, bring that you brought that up, I'm going to drop 2 because Popple is one of the top ones and it's another one. So, since we talked about it, it's 2 companies you can get them from, Popple and Link. Those are the 2. Those are 2 big companies that do those.
Yes. Y'all get with it. Get with it. Don't get left behind. Get with it. We dropping sauce in this. We just told y'all that was a 2 for 1 right there.
A 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
And I didn't even get no affiliate commission from it neither. Y'all
I know that's right. Me neither. You saw me at that event. I was so mad at myself. I said, why didn't? And Popple has affiliate. I said, why didn't I set that up before I left that house? But I didn't know. I was assuming that, people were on it, and you should never assume. Never assume. I went in there and there was so many, and that was the crazy thing. To know you sitting in a mastermind and you have Trapper, the master of stocks. You have Neo, the event space guru. You have David Shands, the podcast king. But nobody asked them particular questions about that. Everybody in the mastermind asked how to build their brand and engage through their content. So when they were posing the room, what was I doing? Checking. I'm checking the room, the case out. When they ask questions, my head turning like, who said they need help with that? Oh, okay. I'm going to make it over there. Just don't worry.
Taking notes. I'm going to tap in with you in a second.
Yeah, we going to congregate in just a second. But it's amazing. It's a lot of people that need help in that area because, again, it's just something that's not discussed. You jump into entrepreneurship and you're missing that major step. And sometimes the brand development is the thing that sets you apart from your success. You can have a great product or service, but you don't even know how to convey the message to get your audience. You talking to the wrong people on the wrong platform at the wrong time, looking for a result that they can't even relate to.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep.
So, gym time. You gotta bless the people with something.
Okay.
I'll let you decide what that is. What you want to be. I know you got a couple events coming up. I mean, it is events, right? Or was it courses? No, classes.
It's all kinds of stuff going on. Hey, it's all kinds of stuff, man. Matter of fact, Lord. So, okay, so I'm gonna hit you with the gym first. I'll say this. I think I'm gonna do something because a lot of people feel like they're ready for business, but their mindset isn't right. So I'm gonna go from a mindset side to keep people encouraged that your purpose is yours. And the thing that you have in the pit of your gut that you can't forget about, the thing that just you keep dreaming about it, you hearing about it, you seeing visions about it, you keep neglecting it. I need people to understand the importance of separating from their distractions so they can figure out the depths of their why. I'm so tired of people that are talented coming to me, but they are so lost. And then they're looking at the fact like, I need you to baby step and hold my hand, but I can't be the one to figure out what this means to you. So I want people to really understand it's time to step out and be the individual you were intended to be. And it's time to understand that you are enough to pursue the thing that you know you can't ignore. Everything that people used to speak against me on is the exact thing that makes me money today. You're too loud. You're goofy. You're too excited. Oh, she's so friendly. Then they take that for weakness too, thinking I'm the one to play with. But that's for another day. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Indeed.
But
No doubt.
I need people to stand and be clear on who they are, because only you have your unique story. And your unique story is the thing that's going to take you to those riches and that legacy and that wealth building and all the other desires of your heart. So I want to encourage the entrepreneurs that's looking to get into this game. You got to first start with you and your mindset. You are not going to be successful if you're lazy. You are not going to be successful if you're complacent. You are not going to be successful if you feel like you still have tomorrow to get it done. Nobody promised you that. So I need people to really buckle down, because while you sleeping, hungry panthers like me around here snatching plates. That's why the calendar is full. And that's why people, I'm gravitating, they're pulling, because I am diligently seeking my best self every single day. So as you do that, you start to elevate with frequency, and in return, God gives you the things that you've been desiring in your heart, and he starts to align you with people. It's not as hard of a fight as you make it. It's just that you're putting your energy in the wrong places. So kill the distractions, get focused. The main things, the 4 top things I focus on is faith, determination, consistency, and diligence. If you can commit to those 4 things, you're going to make it. You just got to stop doubting it and stop putting excuses out there. I don't tolerate excuses. I always say, can we exchange that for execution? So that's the gems. I don't know how many that was, but that's the
Hey,
gem.
there's no such thing as unlimited gems.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yep. There's no such thing, because I think people really do need to hear that. And
Yeah,
it's man, I say it all the time, right? Because I like we get a lot of people that come through that's done chased everything across the internet and still is right back where they was when they first started chasing.
yeah.
And they missing a lot of the key elements. They missing foundation. And I'm big on foundations, right? And I'm big on, like, you you can't build nothing without a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, this year we was gonna, disrupt the whole thing, because uh it's just too many people out here that's, like you said, that's talented, that got good ideas,
Mm-hmm.
that purpose driven, and they just getting drugged.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They just getting drugged through the internet streets. And I know what that's like, coming from, doing it for so long, to where it becomes discouragement after a while. You feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's your fault, or you feel like it's you. And it's not you, it's just you just don't have the proper information. You know
Yes.
what I mean? That's it. You just it's
Yes.
and most people I talk to, it'd be like the little thing. They'd be like, that was all, or that was it. That's all I was missing, or I didn't look at it that way. It's not.
Yes.
It don't even be nothing major.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
It
don't
could be
even be
that
nothing
one
major. It's
thing.
just a tweak. Just one little tweak,
Yeah,
and that's it. But
that's it.
it be the hype train that, what I mean, get the emotional part. Like, you got to have emotional intelligence sometime to be able to not get
Mm.
excited about what you think somebody else doing, because a lot of them not doing what they all excited about anyway.
Say that again, James.
So,
Ooh.
you know man, I enjoyed this conversation, and I knew that I would, because I knew we had a lot in common. I've been watching you in these internet streets, in your lives, what I mean, on different things. So this was, I said, when 2023, because we finna start doing this more often. I said, I already know who I'm gonna be the first target.
Ha, ha. I
I, I,
appreciate you,
already
brother.
I already knew where I was coming to, and we gonna collab on some stuff too. That,
Most definitely.
we gonna definitely collab on some stuff, man. We gonna have to do some events, some workshops, or something together, man, and,
I'm
and
ready.
and bless the people, man, to combine, what I do with what you do, because
I'm ready.
it's needed.
It
At the end of the day, it's
is.
needed.
It is.
And we on JV 23 this year, so we trying to find solid people to do some solid stuff, man, and make it look like it's supposed to look out here, especially
Listen,
for our own.
Collaboration over competition all day. I just
all day.
got invited to North Carolina. As a matter of fact, I think you spoke on North Carolina or Charlotte earlier. It'll
Yep.
be in May, and it's the Revive Her conference. And it's a few other things I have simmering. Of course, I have Brand Builders Academy for anybody that needs brand development or they need a coach to walk them through. I help with the mindset and branding in Brand Builders Academy. But if you're looking just to have it done for you, we do have several packages to accommodate entrepreneurs, and all of that can be found at PantherInkGraphx. You can click the link in my bio. I'm on all social platforms, and that is also my website. But make sure you do Panther Ink Graphics, and it's with the X at the end. Okay,
Yep.
so
If y'all
that's
watching,
what
it's
I have
down
for
in the corner. Y'all can see it down in the corner. If y'all watching, y'all make sure y'all go follow her on Instagram, and her link will take you to all the other stuff she just mentioned. It
Yeah, and
was
I appreciate you, Jay. I've been, of course, peeping you too on our other brother platforms. Part my truth. Shout out to Part my truth.
oh
Shout
yeah,
out to Credit Yoda.
them my nephews, man. This is my nephews, man. I got to get
Yeah,
them back on track because we was doing the other podcast. You know, while my nieces and nephews podcast, and they was on there, man. But these, these young bucks they be show dragging, man. They don't can't be. I'm trying to get them to be consistent.
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
calling him and Credit Yoda out. You can't have my Yoda.
Yes,
Yeah, you can't have my Yoda name and be out here slacking, man.
make him live up to it, Jay. And that's like my little brothers, and that they're born and Yoda. We have conversations. That's why, but I love them,
Yeah,
and like I love
absolutely,
what
man. I
you're
take
doing.
that energy and everything, man. They for the
Yep.
people, man. I anything I could do to help them, man. I told them I'm there for them, man. That's what it's
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, we need you. We need you, especially in that lane over there. That credit lane ugly. That consumer law lane ugly. So they need us, and that's why I say I've had the taste of working with the millionaires. I've been on the stage with a few of them. I get it. I understand that I can do it, but I know my call on my life is to stay in the trenches with the people that did not have a way. They
Yep.
did not have a handout. They did not have instruction on how to get this thing going. And that's who I'm here to serve. So I'm in it for the long haul. So I definitely look forward to us connecting. Workshops are actually what I plan to start doing. I'm going to jump that off. I'm friends with the owners of the Black Store out here in Houston. So I'll start doing workshops for the community for free here in Houston. And then I'm just going to branch out. I want to start focusing on faith based organizations too, because the enemy is taking over with the marketing and social media and the news. Like, it's saturated with foolishness. We got to get our soldiers to stand up and get some representation out here. And I have learned, and this is another tip, this is a bonus gem for y'all to just really chew on and pass on to your children's children. Learn the importance of serving. The
Mm.
mission is really what leads. Do not chase a bag. A lot of people get so fearful, like, oh my God, the bills are coming. That's why I said faith is one of my four. You got to really apply pressure in the area of what you represent and the problem you solve, so much so that sometimes it is for free. You have to understand that sometimes you will have to serve. When you do it with the mission of serving, the money will chase you. And that has been proven to me time and time again. Now, of course, everything's not free. You discern that. You take time and understand where you see opportunities. The way I was able to become successful is because, of course, I'm easy to talk to. I'm high energy, so it attracts people. But ultimately, when you get behind the scenes with me, my main purpose, my main end goal is how can I serve? How
Right.
can I serve has protected me. How can I serve has led to expansion for my business. So stop chasing bags. You leave with the mission and the money chases you. And that's it.
Man, that's what's up right there. That and I can already see that's one of the things I think we're gonna end up working together on because I have an FBO. It's called Juniorpreneurs, and the whole purpose of it is to from age 12 to 18 is start giving them the foundations of what it's like to be an entrepreneurship and teaching them about managing money, how to what what debt is for real, how
Love
important that credit is, marketing, branding, like all those things that we didn't get taught between those ages and didn't have no
it.
understanding of what it was, and try to curve it early. So by the time they are that
Yeah. Yes.
18 plus, it's a whole different ball game.
Oh, I'm with it. Oh, I'm with it. Because that's honestly my end goal, Jay. We're going to talk. We're going to definitely talk. I
Yeah,
know my end goal. Panther Inc., that is the mission because that's my natural talent. But the end goal is nonprofit, is to help the youth. So that's so ironic
yeah,
that you
yep,
are
yep,
aligned
yep.
in
You
that.
spoke. Yep, you called that right
Yes.
up because I already got it established. It's already there. It's already in the pocket. Like I started last year with the courses and stuff, and I had about 8 kids, but then I forgot what happened, but I pushed it back until this year because we were
Yeah,
trying to for the last year trying to acquire another company and stuff like that. So we got that all the way now. So this month, you finna start seeing me drop it and push it to start recruiting kids for it.
I love that. I love that, Jay. I
Yep.
commend you for that.
Yeah, man. That's from growing up in the boys and girls clubs and all that type of stuff, and knowing how important that was to when you coming up in the hood, how that keep you
Oh, yeah.
how that keep you out of trouble.
Listen, I give shout out to that all the time. My parents kept me in some beta club, start
Right?
program, Girl
Something. You know what I mean?
Scouts.
Keep you right out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? If you busy, you ain't got to worry about being busy somewhere else.
That's right.
But
That's
I
right.
appreciate you, Queen. And we definitely gonna tap in. And for y'all that missed it, y'all can go follow her at Panther Ink Graphics with an S at the end, as she stated clearly the first time. Don't go mess that up.
That's right.
It was an honor and it was a pleasure. And we're gonna touch bases.
I appreciate you, Jay. Thanks for having me. You guys do the same. Anybody from my tribe, make sure you tap in. He's going places. AXS. Okay? It's all
You know what
about
I'm
it.
saying?
Be legendary.
I even get my own tag, man. Y'all go follow me at the Yoda Knows.
There you go.
Because I know some stuff.
He knows some stuff, y'all. I appreciate you, Jay. This was great.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.